I agree. I feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. I feel the overwhelming feeling in my body, and as I'm saying it out loud, I feel like I want to cry. Just so many things are coming full circle, and a part of me feels like I can't handle it, but an even bigger part of me knows that this is exactly where I need to be, and this is exactly what is good for me in the long run. I don't want to deny my intuition myself anymore. I want to respect my soul, my intuition, my internal guidance. And the overwhelm comes from the fact that as a human, as a person, human person who's had so many fucking traumatic experiences in my life, I cannot believe that my intuition is telling me something so profoundly good. My body doesn't feel safe in that such a big and beautiful thing could like occur in my life, because I've been used to not the sirens. I've been so used to like keeping my circle of close people really like small, and I feel like with them I they get to experience all of me, and not just the oracle therapist healer kind of side, but like my goofy funny stupid funny side as well. And online I feel like I mostly share like the epiphanies, the healing, all of that that's going on in my life, but it's missing a big chunk of who I am, I feel like. And I never intended to put that side of me out there for all to see, but certain life events are slowly but surely just pushing me to that point where I gotta use my humor to crack open and break through the illusions and rules and oh okay break through the illusions and just separation that we have, and it of course then it makes sense why I need to close the separation cap within me first. So um, for a long time I've been my own therapist, and I've been wanting to like go to go to a healer, go to a therapist myself, but I always felt like it has just never happened. I never found the right person who I click with. I didn't resonate with the people that I was meeting. So I've been on this journey by myself, doing it by myself, studying some kind of ideologist. How do you say that? What? What am I trying to say? Oh, like studying things on my own for my mental health, and through that I have discovered the feeling, the want to support others because of my own journey, and I've been doing that. I have been a healer, a therapist, an oracle. It has been ever changing as I evolve, that job evolves. I've been that for like making money with it for like coming up on 6 years, I want to say 6 or 7 years officially. emotionally been taking care of people all of my life, but it has changed where I don't sacrifice myself. I don't sacrifice my own well-being for others. And now there's so much information suddenly that I want to talk about. It's too much. Okay, can I bring the focus in? Okay, so I'm being guided back to yesterday. So, yesterday, I'm not really someone, I haven't been someone who asks for help much. I should have been, but I've been wanting to be a independent woman. So yesterday I woke up and I had this feeling, I had this knowing that I need to ask my friend to come over so we can look at some stuff that has been coming up. And what has been coming up for the past week for me is exactly, of course, what I've been avoiding for a long time and I cannot avoid any longer. It's the fact that I gotta show all of me, because there's so many factors that not kind of depend on, but are stuck behind that I don't show the fullest version of me. That like I said in the beginning, like I show my fullest version of myself to like the close people, the people I feel safe with, the people I feel seen and heard with, like deeply, the people around me who I know love me unconditionally, who are not willing to love me unconditionally or accept me unconditionally, they have no access to this magic. And exactly because I've been slapped so many times because of sharing the magic of me just willy-nilly like a prostitute out there, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I recognize and I am in a process of fully accepting and surrendering to the fact that I am, in fact, deeply emotional girl. I'm a lover girl. I love love. And I love unconditional love. And that's everything that I want to put out. And that's everything that I want to receive. And it also means like boundaries. It also means really recognizing what is for me and what is not for me and saying it out loud. And where fear has been coming up is exactly the fact that what if I put myself out there as I am with all of me, how are people going to take advantage of it? How are people gonna try and use me for that? How are people reacting? How are people all of that? But on the other side of that is also the fear of what if more of my people find me through this? What if the love of my life finds me through this, like through my work that I put online? What if my soul family finds me? What if, like it's on two different spectrums. It's on the spectrum of what if everything goes horribly wrong, and like what if everything goes horribly right, and I'm in the middle there, kind of frozen, happy with my like little close-knit group here, and like squeezing myself to fit into this tiny little town that I live in, when I know for a fact, I know this for well over a year or even more, that I'm supposed to like travel and move around and have an impact globally. Like, not in a sense that I desperately want to be famous, I don't care for that. What I want to do is just meet different people, and that like comes from my soul, is that I want to experience different people. I want to experience different cultures, different countries, because they all have a different energy, as well as do the people. And by keeping myself small in my little Estonia, in my little Pärnu bubble, I feel like I am coming up on this point where I have done everything that I could do here. And that's not news for me. I've been feeling that for a while, but I've just been too afraid to put myself out there and just fully accept it and fully say it. Not necessarily online, but even just for myself as I sit here right now. Because I'm not sure if I'm gonna post this. Yeah, I am, as I'm saying this. But I recognize the places that I'm still bullshitting myself for a reason, for fucking fear. Fear of what? Fear of everything working out. Fear of me, like it's surrendering all of the control. Like, in my heart of heart, I know how I want to feel. I know how I want to feel in all of my relationships, and I know what kind of partner and like father to my children I want to experience. I know that in my core, and I know what I recognize that person. But I feel like this is after the fact that I fully accept it myself, like within my body as well, and then I put it out, which I guess I'm doing right now. And it has been so easy for me to talk about those things with my friends, but every time I do, there's this like profound knowing or knowledge that comes through me that I'm like, after the fact, I realized I should have put this out there for everybody to see, because this is information that could help or guide a lot of people, and I have limited myself to share this only with the close people around me, like trying so desperately protect the smallness of me, trying to protect so badly the fact that I live here, and yeah, it's safe, it's nice. I know every corner of the city, which I also thought I would never move back to my hometown. And I understand why I moved here, to go through all of those childhood things, like childhood trauma again, and to like realize with my body that I don't need to run from those things anymore, because they are resolved. They're like done. I have no emotional attachment or no emotions even that come up when I am in my hometown. It's like a completely new city for me. And I realized that as a soul, I've guided my human, Karolin, I have guided her through so many experiences so she could like experience the paradox of life, experience the extremes of life, so that she can fully come back home to herself. This is the basis of my life. And yesterday with my friend, I was asking her like, usually I do these things by myself. I look at energy. It's really easy for me to read energy, right? But there have been certain filters that I've relied on within this like energy reading, and I've noticed recently for like a month or so, those filters have dropped off. Like there's no filter. Some things that I did that worked like a year ago, they don't anymore. So that signals to me like, okay, there's something new that I'm supposed to do, a new way I'm supposed to like approach things, because the old way just keeps falling off, like it keeps falling away. So I recognize that I am growing, I am moving towards something, and I like, before something happens, our bodies can feel it, and they can start sabotaging us way before the good or the bad thing actually happens. And that's what I feel is fucking happening here. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps now. Fuck. Okay. I've been feeling like I moved towards something that I've wanted on a soul level that I wanted to experience my whole life. But as a human, as Caroline, I have not seen it, I have not experienced it, I have not seen other people experience this. So it's completely new stuff for me. But my soul knows, like my energy knows, like, hey, we're building up to this, we're going towards this. So I've been trying to suppress it with emotions, with food, with making myself small, with like scrolling on my phone endlessly, just trying to like fill that space that I have worked so hard to free up. And that makes no fucking sense when I say it out loud. Why would somebody do that? Because I feel like it is a protective mechanism, right? Because as a human, I have not experienced what I'm about to experience, and it feels dangerous. And what our minds, like, as a human, we have like collection of experiences, right? And if we're stepping outside of that, we're trying to like experience something new, something different, it feels dangerous. Even if we like fucking know it's good for us, first it's gonna feel dangerous because our brains, which have like our subconscious, which has saved all of the information that happened from 0 to like 6 or 7, mostly our subconscious has been like saving information, like, oh, this works out like this is this. That's why you see people who like continue their family like toxic things, like they continue drinking, or there's like generationally drinking, they like continue the same things that their parents did. It's because they literally don't know any different, and they don't want any different, because their subconscious is like, yeah, this is the way of life, I don't know any better, I don't know anything else. So they continue with their storyline, right? But then there's people like you and me who are like, fuck that, I don't want to go through this. They went through hell, I don't want to do that. And we change the story. And as we change the story, we're faced with the fear, because our mind is trying to keep us safe, it's trying to keep us alive. Because as a child, we most likely had to adapt a certain way of being to stay alive, and that kept us alive. We survived. But you need to come to a point where you're like, I don't need to survive anymore, I want to thrive now. And that's when fear comes up. Your mind is like, this is not the script. We're not following the script. You're falling off, girl. You need to get back on track. You need to be 25, have a family, have a home, have a steady job, do everything that is safe. Fuck that. If I were to have played it safe, like, first, let's be so fucking for real right now. If I, first of all, continued the traditional family line, I would have been an alcoholic. Probably wouldn't have even been alive right now. Then, yeah, that's because I lived like half of my childhood with my mom and the other half of my childhood with my grandparents. So I saw two very different kinds of lives, but one was physically abusive, the other was emotionally, I don't know if abusive is the right word, not available, I would say. And for both of those, I had to adapt like a way of surviving those families, right? And if I were to continue their line, I would be emotionally available. I would be probably knocked up with a few children now, unhappy with my fucking grocery store job or like service industry job, whatever it was, unhappy in my partnership, living in a home somewhere, just surviving, basically just fucking surviving. And not to say that I'm not grateful for the relationships, that like the romantic relationship I had. The first relationship being 6.5 years with the first person I was like intimate with, my first relationship, all of that. it was really safe with him. I felt really good with him. I felt safe, I felt loved, not so much seen and heard. And as I started to make important for myself, like to see myself, putting myself first, I kind of outgrew that relationships, and like we went our separate ways as friends. It was nothing traumatic. And what was fucked up for me in my childhood was that when I separated from my mom, like my bio mom, I was fucking 8 years old, and then and there I knew drinking was bad, because I saw how fucking miserable my mom was, switching up men, trying so desperately to find unconditional love, trying so desperately to find someone to fucking save her. She couldn't save herself. She went to drinking. She was hanging out with the wrong crowd. Everything went downhill. She couldn't take care of me and herself. And I went to live with my grandparents. And then I saw a different side. I saw like, oh, this on the surface looks perfect. I had a home. I was fed. I had clothes on. I went to school. I had friends. I played football. I did acting, both like 10 years in school. And like the picture from the outside looked really good. But our family consisted of three broken people. And I never considered myself broken, but it was kind of like the storyline of our family, that like we all had been through such shit that we were like broken souls together. And I knew all along that drinking, I was never gonna drink. I was never gonna have a lot of partners. I was never gonna have multiple like men in my life. I was never going to do that. I would rather spend my life alone than doing this, because it brought so much pain to my mom. Now, statistically speaking, if you go through shit like this and your subconscious is only like, what my subconscious was doing was like, okay, like we have to survive, we have to manipulate people, we have to get by, steal, lie, all of that. Because that was how my mom survived, right? So I downloaded all that information from her. But I never did that. Somehow I knew it was all wrong all the time. I had that sense of knowing that, yes, I am with my bio mom right now, and I see what she's doing to survive. That doesn't seem right. As a 5-year-old kid, I already knew that what we went through as a family, to us, that wasn't normal. It's a completely longer story, but what I'm trying to say is that after when I lived with my grandparents is where I experienced emotional unavailability. I had to survive. I had to adapt this personality of making everybody else feel emotionally safe. And that kind of, I realized that I did it out of survival. So most of my like 20s up to like 27, 28, I just rewrote all of that. I was a fucking powerhouse in my 20s, let me tell you that. That work that I did with myself to just purge all of that and finally fucking find myself and find the truth within me, like, I know who the fuck I am. And to go through the fact that I would rather stop talking to, like, cut everybody out of my life who is not there unconditionally, who is there to only accept a version of me. That takes some serious balls, dude. That takes some serious balls. And there have been times where I've like been drowning in self-pity, like, I am by myself, I have no family, why is it that I don't have like immediate family around me? One, I kind of decided to cut them out because I couldn't, there was no space for me to really be myself. Because I'm very energy sensitive, I have been all my life. I've been psychic my whole life. I've been a healer all of my life. I always read the energy behind the words, so when somebody is telling me empty words, I can see right through that bullshit. I can see right through that bullshit. When someone doesn't really hear or see me, I can see through that fucking bullshit. Immediately, dude. But because I was in survival mode, I let it slide. And um, I'm so fucking grateful that my soul, who decided to incarnate into this body, into this experience, has kept me so fucking pure through all of that bullshit that I have been through. And I am at this point where I understand all of it. I I've I've worked through it. Um, I feel like I don't know what it is. It's so funny. By now saying it out loud and saying it out loud in English, I just feel like I created so much space. I feel like there's more stuff that just released, that I created space right now. I feel seen. I feel seen by myself. Oh, that's really cool. And of course, there's a lot more to be done. A lot of I know and I can feel that there's a lot of layers within me that still will be exposed. But I feel like I'm at this point where I have done all the work alone that I could have, and that's why, like, the past year I've made some incredible friends here in my hometown where I moved back to, and the love and care I have received, how the way I always wanted to be seen and felt, I have that now. I have through my friends. And it has been kind of sus that I only have female friends. And I guess that's where I'm going to with my talk right now, and it's really bringing up emotions, and I really don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it. Do you see my shoulders just like closing up? It's okay. It's all okay. Just need to breathe. The past year it has been difficult to realize how loved I am. Realize that the people in my life right now actually see me. I don't have to fight anymore for the people closest to me to actually see me, because that's how my life has mostly been. I realized that my stepmom and who call themselves family, who are family, that they just never chose to really see. Oh, I gotta. Oh, I only do dad sneezes. That was great. I was so used to the people closest to me to only be connected and only feel comfortable with a version of me. And that's why I also kept myself from connecting to this really powerful and strong part of me that I feel mostly when I'm by myself or with people who I feel truly safe with, like unconditionally safe and loved with. And I put up walls for people to like not get access to that anymore, because I felt like through my last I've had 2 relationships, so the first one I talked about and the second one was really karmic, and a lot of my relationship patterns that I adapted from my parents really came through to that, so I'm happy to have let all of those go. But what happened was that I started doubting my intuition. I started doubting my I started doubting how big I am. I started doubting how deep I am. I started doubting that maybe it's wrong to love so deep and want to be loved so deeply, like crazy deeply, like, yeah, exactly, crazy deep is what I mean. To be loved in a way that mm, I don't think I've even put it into words. It's just a deep feeling where you can see each other from a crowd of people and their silence. You can be in a crowd of thousands of people and you only see that one person and everything else goes quiet, and you know exactly how they feel. You can read them exactly, and you're so deeply connected, like telepathically connected to them, that you just know. You know, you can like unleash the crazy passion, love. um, you can unleash all of that because it's unconditionally received and it's not being used, it's being loved and held so fucking deeply. And it is something that I have felt inside of me always, and I've never found a match to it. Haven't met the match to it yet. And I know he's out there, but just haven't met him yet. And that's fine. I feel like the first step is for me to accept that within me. And I feel like the past year, when I've made this new friendships, I have gotten the glimpses of that. I've like practiced, like my body has been able to release so many stories around that, has been able to release tension around that, because I've like experienced kind of I've experienced this unconditional love and being seen and felt and heard. I've experienced that where I could have. It's that kind of moment where I look and I feel with the other person that my whole body, my whole nervous system calms down, and I can just release whatever emotion there is. Because what I have experienced is that like my big emotions are impossible for some people to handle, and not many people have been through what I have been through, and I have worked through all of that, but that has made me an incredibly deep person. And I have worked through multiple times the fear of death. And okay, I feel inclined to put that in here as well. My body has associated big feelings like the biggest feeling of love that you can imagine, the biggest feeling of being in power that you can imagine, the biggest feeling of grief you can imagine. So like big emotions on both ends of the spectrum. So far, I have experienced most of those feelings in the negative spectrum. I have experienced some on a positive spectrum, but where they're all, like, my life is in many ways paradox. Like, I've been through stuff that doesn't seem like I should have come out of as normal as I have. But I have, and I have this ease and like fun light side of me that is really, really part of me. But there's also the other side of me that is like that. But I felt like I wanted to talk about the fear of death. So my father, biological father, who had the potential of being a healer, like being a healer with his hands, the same thing, the ability that I have. He had the ability to be a clairvoyant, a healer, all of that. But he didn't have the space, the opportunity to use his powers, or I don't know, maybe he wasn't aware of it, maybe he just didn't know what to do with it. But if you keep all of that under a rock and hidden, and you don't use it for the good of all, it turns on you. So he let all his powers turn on him, basically. And that led him to, because he wanted to have a family, and he loved me so fucking deeply that all he wanted to do was just have a family, have a good life, have some kind of normalcy in his life. And for different circumstances that didn't happen, and that resulted in him actually going insane from the love, from the power, from all of that. And he literally went insane, and he ended my grandmother's life, and he ended his own life, and almost ended mine and my mother's life as well. And that all happened when I was like a year and a half old. So within my body was this information that huge feelings of love, power, like personal, like power, all of those big intense emotions equaled death, because that was what happened. I've had these 3 moments where I felt like I'm actually going to die from the pressure of life. There have been like suicidal thoughts, but like I've always recognized that it's just some kind of information that is in my body that is not actually me as a soul. It's not that. I've recognized that all the time, but I never could really reach the root problem of that. It had its own divine timing when it was supposed to come out. And so I had these 3 times where I felt like I can't take this anymore, because I had suppressed like my actual thoughts, feelings, emotions. I had suppressed all of those, and that had resulted in like these moments where I thought I really like I can't be in this body anymore. I can't live this life anymore. I don't want to live this life anymore. I don't want to be here as a soul anymore. I can't do this, and I don't want to do this. And coming out of those moments, I did feel like I was born again, very much so. And I felt after each of those moments that my soul really desperately needs me to be alive. But there's some fucking magic that I need to experience, that I have lived through those moments. I don't have any blood related relatives in my life right now. They're all dead. I recently found out that my biological mom is alive. Another story. I have yet to be in contact with her. I've been processing that and kind of like, I will do that definitely, but I'm not trying to rush myself. So my life has made it so that I never repeat the cycles that my parents or my ancestors did. My life has been so that I get to recognize who I actually am and what I actually want and provide those experiences for myself. And it's really just being this, that I know what I deserve, I know what I want to experience, and I will experience this. And this kind of warrior spirit in me has really led me to this moment. And the past year, the love that I have had the opportunity to relax into and surrender into has opened up in me the desire to have a family of my own, have a partner, have a husband, actually get married, actually have a child. Because like a few years ago, I put all of that to rest and just really focused on myself and focused on pinpointing, like, I need to energetically within me really feel into and like accept and know what the fuck do I actually want, and not just be open to and receive what is available, because there's a difference. Accepting what is available versus accepting what I actually want, and nothing less of that. But I was in a state of mind like, I don't think this is I don't think this exists, because I haven't seen it anywhere online in my life, ever, anywhere. I have not seen examples of somebody being so profoundly deep, self-aware, who also like wants to love unconditionally and has no fear of the depth that I am, or the depth that they are themselves, you know? They have like no conditions to how they put themselves out there, how they live their life, how maybe seemingly paradox their life is. Meaning, like, as a person, they're deep lovers and deep, they just want to care for another person, they want to care for their people around them, and on the other side be so detached from the seriousness of life, you know what I mean? That they can just be whatever they want to be. They can be a clown and lover boy at the same time. That's, you know, because that's why what I feel like I had trouble in the past accepting myself, because I felt that paradox within me. I felt like, how can I be taken seriously if I come off as a clown? that's just an example. But what I realized with my relationships, like with my friends now, is that is the way I work. That's the way I do what I do so well, is because I can make serious stuff understood very easily, and with jokes and with humor and with like disturbing words and disruptions, you know, and I am still that deep, loving presence, that deep, unconditional presence, even though I'm using fucking Gen Z words and talking about seemingly bullshit stuff, but it hits deep, you know, you can read between the lines. There's, you know, because what I like find most tasty is that when I feel an energy within me, I also use the words that express that energy like to a T. And sometimes the words are not what are commonly used to describe that feeling. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm going too much into explanation. I don't feel like I need to explain myself so much. But it's like what I love about myself so much is that that when I sit down with a friend or with a person or with a client and I listen to what they're talking about, like I log in into what are they saying, what's going on, what's the energy. I hear the words, but I also feel the energy behind the words. And even though when they don't find the words or they use a wrong word to explain an energy, I can still read them, I can still understand, and I can like finish their sentence for them. I can be so in tune. Exactly. I can be so in tune that, you know, there's telepathy created between us, and the energy speaks so much. The presence, the energy, the expressions, the body, everything, just like the facial expressions, they speak so much more than words ever could. And I love that about me. I love that I get to do that. And even like people writing me comments or writing me letters or writing me emails, it's like I can see behind your words, babe. Lately I've been guided to rework my client intake because I've made myself smaller, or I've made myself how do you say that in English? I've discredited myself. Discredit, is that the word? Yeah, I've done that with my work, with like how I show up. Because I know I'm a fucking powerhouse when I show up, dude. I'm a fucking powerhouse when I show up. And I love that. I love being like, let's lock the fuck in and let's like let's go. But I realized that not a lot of people want that. Not a lot of people are ready for that. And on my website I had like this series of questions that I had people answer. And I was like, like what? Time and time again, there was this question of like really fucking simple questions. That's the point. They were really fucking simple questions. Like, first question was like, how do you want to feel on a daily basis? And I thought that was the most simple question in the fucking world. Turns out it's not. Actually accepting in your body how do you want to feel on a daily basis sometimes requires you to do shit ton of uncomfortable decisions. And most people are not ready for that. And I don't want to work with people who are not ready for that, because I have made some really uncomfortable fucking decisions in my life to be able to feel the way I feel on a daily basis, right? I was noticing that I don't feel with my clients the way I want to feel. So, of course, those things came up with my clients, being like, can you answer these few questions so that I can read your energy? Because I don't want to spend time in our session answering those simple questions when this work all could have been done before, you know? So it was like, how do you want to feel on a daily basis? And how are you not allowing yourself to feel like this on a daily basis? And the answers were like, yeah, I want to feel good on a daily basis. And the next answer was like, I don't think it's impossible. Everything's possible. Okay, so why are you here? Why are you emailing me? Clearly everything seems fine. If everything is possible, why are you here? And I feel like I haven't allowed myself to say it out loud that I don't have the energy for those kind of people anymore. All the love and respect and like the empathy for where they're at right now, but I have moved beyond that. I'm not that person anymore. I was, because my like therapy and healing and oracle business has like changed with me, and I am at this point right now where I love to be there for people, but I see that there's certain taste that I want to feel. There's certain taste of people who I want to work with, who I come most alive with. If I honor and respect my soul, my channel, the way I work, my mission here on earth, like what I came here to do and to experience, then I need to respect that that pull towards working with certain people, pull towards working with people who have really chosen themselves, have really like chosen to change something, and they don't give a fuck what they need to change. They just know how they want to feel, you know? Because the way you feel, the way you carry yourself is just the foundation to everything, basically. And I have not been respecting that. I see now that I've been in kind of survival with my business, with my soul business, and coming out of that right now, I feel like I want to work to my fullest potential. I want to see my fullest potential unravel with the right people. And it starts with me, right? I need to accept that in me, and I need to then follow whatever instructions I'm giving myself to like change or do or reach out or do whatever. And I know I'm starting to get the magnitude of impact that I came here bring, to do, to carry through, and it has been a lot to accept. I haven't wanted to really, but it's starting to like affect my life, affect the way I feel, affect the way I work, affect my relationships and all of that. And that's where I'm like, okay, fuck that. I get, okay. I, I get what I need to do. Because there's stuff that I want to experience in my life that is all pushing me towards that. Like, right now, like I explained what kind of relationship I want to experience. I explained that I want to have a kid and have a family, and I want to have a kid with a person who actually wants to be a father, who wants to see themselves grow into being a father, because I want to see myself grow into being a mother, because I get to, with my kid, I get to be the mother that I always needed. Like, I want to see who my child is and why my child came to me and my partner. And I want to have the feeling of getting married to my soulmate, getting married to the person that I feel so safe with and so deeply connected with, that I just feel so deeply seen and heard with. And I'm not perfect. And I don't expect my partner to be perfect, but I expect us to work on our shit together. Because I realize right now that, like I said before, I've gone as far as I could alone. That's why I've made all these new friends. That's why I get to have all these connections right now that like lift me, love me, hold me, all of those beautiful things. And I get to like pour myself to my people as well. And I feel like the next step for me, or like the next thing I'm moving towards, is seeing myself like the person that I am today. How am I in a relationship with a person that like loves me more than maybe I love myself, or maybe loves me more than I have ever loved anything or anybody, to top that. because I feel like I even did like a little constellation work with cards for myself to see like my own inner man and woman, like their relationship and their energy. Didn't look pretty, didn't fucking look pretty, and a lot of stuff released from there, and I'm so happy. But I realized that I have never made myself visible for those kind of men who maybe are bigger energetically, or just like who I perceive to be bigger. Um, Bigger, I mean like what has been big for me has been like they're like rich, they're like famous, they're like, but they have a soul. Do you know what I mean? It's a whole other thing, but it's just like experience a man who is bigger than life, who is so calm, so confident, so sure of themselves that they're like, just their presence is, they don't need to be show offy or be like, got money, you know. You can do that. There's a difference. You can like joke and be clowny about it, like, you know, but there's energy that speaks behind that, right? And I want to see myself as a woman next to a man like that, or like how my work evolves, how I, as a psychic, as a therapist, as a healer, as an oracle, how that, like how I evolve in my work, in my soul, in my experience. And yeah, it's so funny that I perceive it as big. There's a lot of things that I perceived as big, and when I like come to experience those things, they feel so natural and they feel so normal. So I'm really curious about like those things that first of all scare me. That's first thing that I look at, not shy away from or run the other way. I look at those things, like those places or things or whatever is scaring me. And the second thing is like whatever feels big to me. I look at those like people or places or things, experiences as well, that seem like overwhelming, that seem like big, because I'm not afraid of those emotions anymore, but I still know that there's like energies or like blockages in my body stuck, and by looking at all of those things I can release them, so it's healing. um, but yeah, I guess I just wanted to put myself out there today and just talk about things that are really near and dear to my heart, that I've been talking to my like with my friends about. But I feel like I feel it in my core, and I don't know how to explain why, but it feels important to put it out there. And I feel right now safe and relaxed in that, and I felt like I went through some kind of fear of being seen, and I'm really happy that I did that. I feel really relaxed in a way that I have restricted myself of putting like stuff on my Instagram, perhaps putting stuff out there that's like I find funny and deep, and there's like energetic meaning behind that, but it would not make sense to a lot of people. And I've been putting stuff like that out there, and it feels good. Just like yesterday, I put out this like 10 pictures of my cat, because she's the love of my life. But she has this funny way of being, like when she wants to play, when she wants to be seen. Fuck. She has this funny way about herself. When she wants to be seen, she just peeks out of places, and she goes like this, and she just stares at you until like, who the fuck is looking at me? And then you notice she's like peeking out of the behind the bed, only her ears and eyes looking at like this. And I have like a whole series of pictures of like this, where I've been minding my own business, and suddenly she wants to play, but she doesn't come up to me like, hey, let's play now. No, she stands far off somewhere and just stares at me. And I feel that really deeply resonated with me, because when I want to be seen, I tend to do the same thing of like, I focus on the thing. I focus on the experience. I focus, but at the same time, I'm hidden, you know? Like I want something really bad, but I stay hidden. And so I put on the caption under there, like all of those pictures of her peeking out somewhere, like really wanting to be seen, really wanting to play, but just hiding. And I put the caption under there, like me waiting for the love of my life to find me, which is funny, but it's also true that I've so like focused, like I know what I want, I know who I want, I know like I will know and feel them, but I'm like at home like this. I'm at a distance. I'm like hiding. I'm peeking out behind the couch, like looking and like, are you there yet? Have you found me? Can you call me? Can you text me? Can you write me? Not doing anything about it by myself. I'm funny like that, but I'm working on it. I swear. I'm really glad I did this. An hour? That just shows how much I've been putting this off. Because once I start talking about one thing, 1,000 things come up. But hey, I guess it's important. Anyway, I'll see you when I see you. Bye!